Gambling is the only non-substance related addiction that found its way in the DSM-5. It's the first behavior addiction. Gambling is like many other addiction. It has three core components. First of all, a certain tolerance seems to occur. Secondly, people who quit gambling often experience withdrawal symptoms. And finally, they're unable to quit. If we look at tolerance, what it means is really that over time, a certain amount of a thing starts to not feel as good. So what I mean by that, with the case of alcohol, if you think that, taking a shot late at night, it helps me relax, helps me to put me to bed. If you take that same one shot every night for the next month, at the end of a month, that shot really does not have the same impact on you because you've developed tolerance. You're now tougher to the substance, more resistant, if you will. That happens with people who gamble too. Obviously, they're not taking in a substance, but like you can think of it in terms of amounts, whether it be an amount of money played or an amount of like a duration of time. Withdrawal symptoms for people who gamble, there's like the two categories, like with any other addiction. There's psychological symptoms and there's physical symptoms. So in terms of psychological symptoms, what we can see is that people who discontinue gambling after they've had the disorder for a long time, they can feel depression, quite intense depression, in fact. Anxiety can be through the roof. Insomnia problems are very common, and one thing that you can count on is like cravings for the behavior. So all these would qualify as more psychological withdrawals. The physical symptoms of gambling withdrawal, what you can see are symptoms very similar to anxiety. You see increased heart rate, you see sweating, you see shaking, tremors, difficulty kind of holding food down. So all stress related type of physical problems. The last symptom that we see that's related to all the other addiction is the inability to quit, right? You're aware of the problems that it causes in your life, but yet you're unable to discontinue the behavior. With the apps now, with the online gambling, I mean, people have access to destroy their whole paycheck anywhere that they're at. If we think of the treatment options for people with gambling disorders, what I find is that they're not really tailored to people with gambling disorders. Often, unfortunately, they have to be placed in general addiction groups. And so it doesn't really talk directly to them. Often, people with substance use addiction, they don't relate or they really don't get how somebody with a gambling addiction is the same thing because, again, the person with a gambling disorder is not introducing a substance into their body. Gambling is legal anywhere in Canada, right? It's the government that's making a buck from people engaging in gambling, right? The government regulates anything related to gambling, but in a sense, the government is dependent on gambling revenues to finance all its other little projects. I think it's fair to say it's morally ambiguous at best. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Hope this was interesting. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment. Let me know if there's any topic you guys would like to hear me talk about. All right, take care.